Hi, everybody. This is Renee's coming in, Renee's Kitchen, and I am here today to show all my friends and family how to make fried green tomatoes. Now, I learned how to make this when I was about 9 years old. I learned a lot of the things that I cook for my friends and my family and my church are from my grandmother. I started at around about 5 years old. I started cooking with my grandmother, just standing there, holding on to her apron, watching her cook every day, and that was my thing. That was my piece, and that was my love. And so I would just stand there and watch her cooking and just providing for her family. And for me, that was my entertainment. That was my love. That was my life. Watching my grandmother cook, and I loved every minute of it. And these are one of the first things, like I said, when I was about 9 years old, she showed me how to cook fried green tomatoes. And so I want to share that recipe with everyone today. And so these are the basic ingredients that she used to make fried green tomatoes. And I want to share that with everyone today. And let's get started. Alrighty. So first thing you want to do is make sure you start out with good, clean green tomatoes. Wash them in water, make sure that they're clean. And these are courtesy of Bear Ridge Farms from Chuck and Delane's farm right there in Maple Hill, North Carolina. And these are super fresh. They're like, you want to pick tomatoes that are not soft to the touch. If you can squeeze them and they give, that means that they're too ripe or they're going bad. But these are nice, hard, and solid, and that's what you want to look for in your green tomatoes. Okay, and make sure, like I said, make sure they're thoroughly washed, and then you can start to slice them. And what I do is kind of slice off the top. And sometimes on the inside, you'll have some of the inner seeds and flesh. Might be a little red. That's just because I let them set a couple days before I decided to use them. But they'll do just fine. But the perfect ones are the ones that are not turning red inside. Because as they begin to turn red, they're beginning to sweeten a little bit. And so I like the super tart fried green tomatoes, and those are the ones that have the completely green flesh inside. But that's okay. These will do just fine. And you want to cut them about, I would say that's about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. Okay? Because you don't want super thin cuts. Then they'll fry too quickly, and then the texture will be completely off. So make sure that you slice them a nice thickness, kind of like that, if you can see that thickness. Probably about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit bigger. Okay. Okay, there you go. That one's a little bit greener inside, huh? And then the bottom half and then the top half I just put to the side. Okay, everybody. So they're all sliced and I have them all spread out. And now it's time to season. And how my grandmother did it was she used just a regular old kosher salt. And so I have a little salt container that I keep my kosher salt in. So I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle it with some salt. Just not too much, but just enough. And I don't really measure. My grandmother didn't measure. So, and forgive me for not having exact amounts, but I just cook with my heart. So My heart don't give me measurements. So I got a little bit of salt on each side. You're gonna put a little bit of salt on each side and a little bit of pepper on each side. And I'm using this little McCormick black pepper grinder. And that salt was just regular old kosher salt that you can find anywhere. I like using kosher salt because it's all natural. It doesn't have any additives. And I just trust it. Okay. So about that amount of pepper. Then we're going to turn over on the other side and we're going to do the exact same thing. Okay? Exact same thing. Boy, I can eat these every day. I am telling you. It's just that zest, that tanginess, and that just, I just love it. That's my favorite part about it, that little zing you get when you eat them. Oh, let me put my salt first. I'm gonna put a little salt on it. Don't put too much salt because you can make them overly salty. So go easy on your salt. And then if you don't want, if you want to use a salt alternative, you can do that too. You don't have to use kosher salt. You can use any type of salt alternative or no salt. But I probably wouldn't go that route with no salt because it will have absolutely zero flavor. So it's up to you. You gotta do what's comfortable for you and for your health and your diet that you know that you're following. So got the pepper on there. Okay, that's about right for me. Okay. And the next step is after I salt and pepper them, I'm gonna get this regular old Ziploc bag, like a gallon size Ziploc bag. And you're gonna batter them in here. And I'm gonna use my cornmeal. And it's gonna go into the bag. So put my cornmeal right in the bag. And I don't add any flour or anything. I know some people make a thick batter or of some sort for their fried green tomatoes, but my grandmother, she only used salt and pepper, cornmeal, and she fried them in her vegetable oil, and that was it. And so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna batter them. So I'm gonna put them inside the bag. So we're just dropping them right in the bag, just like that. And we're gonna shake them up until they're all coated. Then we're gonna take them over to the stove, to my skillet. We're gonna fry them. So once you get them in the Ziploc bag like that, you're gonna seal it and then you're gonna shake it. Just like that. See, no mess, no fuss. That's how my grandmother did it. No mess, no fuss. And all the flavor. Yes, ma'am. Okay. See that? And the more coating you want, you can even let it sit for like 5 minutes. Like on the counter, let it sit for about 5 minutes. Come back to it, shake it again, because the longer it sits, the more batter it absorbs. But for me, one revolution is good enough. And I just shake it up like that, and then I'm ready to put it in the fryer. All right. Okay, you guys, we're back. Let's test out this oil. Hopefully it's not too hot. You'll know. Let's see. That's good. Should be like a nice gentle fry. Let me use my tongs before I burn myself. Just like that. Should be a nice gentle fry. Just like that. If you start sizzling and frying too hard, you know your heat is up too too high. There you go. Just like that. Nice, gentle fry. The same way with frying chicken. When you put your chicken in your oil, it should be a nice, gentle fry. I think that should be enough. I don't want to overcrowd it. Alrighty. And so what we're looking for is we want to just lightly brown it on both sides. If you like your fried tomatoes a little crispier, then you fry them a little longer. It just depends on your liking. But for me, I like a nice light brown color. And I think I need to turn up my heat just a little bit. Get me a nice fry going. Okay? Good. And be very careful. Make sure when you're frying, if you have little ones, make sure that you block them off from the kitchen. That's what I used to do when my kids were little. I would never allow them in the kitchen when I was frying because anything could happen. You know, the oil could splatter or pop. And if they're standing right next to you like they always like to be, holding on to your shirt tails, you know, they can get burned. So just always be mindful when you're frying. Make sure that the little ones are not around. They have no access to where you're standing whenever you're frying anything. We gotta take care of our babies and keep them safe. And let me see. Yes, that's the color I'm looking for. Nice light brown color on both sides. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Yes, girl. All right. Beautiful. And as you can see, it takes little to no time for these bad babies to be done. They'll be done in no time. Probably going to give it another couple minutes on that side. They'll be done. And like I said, if you like them a little more crunchier or more well done, then you just fry them a little longer to your liking. Almost. Okay. And just make sure that you have your plate ready right over to the side with some napkins in it so that it can absorb all the extra oil. So you don't want to eat oily fried green tomatoes. That is not cute and not nice. Okay. Probably it's going to take probably another minute. And they'll be ready just like that. About another minute. And they will be ready. What you do is you just keep doing the same process until you have all your tomatoes done. And you are in there. See? And it's not as challenging as it looks on the outside if you've never done it, you know? So now you can make your own fried greens and tomatoes, and you don't have to go to a restaurant and pay an arm and a leg unless you're out on a date or celebrating, you know. And I guarantee you, yours are going to taste a lot better. I have somebody do something that you can do for yourself. Especially when you're trying to save money. It means a lot. I'm just going to brown them a little bit more on the other side, and then I'm going to take them out. Oh, I'm loving that crust. And the longer you let them sit in your cornmeal mixture, the more that crust will adhere to those tomatoes. So it's all up to you and what you're looking for, what you like. bam, bam, bam. And they're about ready. So I'm going to take them out. I'm going to bring my plate a little closer so I won't drip it all over my stove. Let it drip, 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 drip. And then you're going to put it in your plate. Yes, girl. We're going to eat good tonight. And this is how my grandmother made her fried green tomatoes. Easy as pie. Easy as pie. Okay. Bam. And as you can see, we are done. And those are our fried green tomatoes. Nice and crispy. And you see how they're not very oily at all. They're not oily at all. You see that? Mm-hmm. Pretty good, pretty good. Alrighty. All right, everybody. So this is the final result. This is the final product of Miss Mildred's fried green tomatoes. It didn't take very long at all from start to finish. I would say maybe 15, 20 minutes start to finish. It doesn't take very long to slice up the tomatoes, put your seasoning on it, shake it up in the bag with the cornmeal in it, and fry them. And as you can see, it takes literally 1 to 2 minutes on each side that you're gonna fry it, and boom, they're done. And you have some awesome homemade fried green tomatoes that will be unrivaled. And I mean unrivaled. You will truly enjoy these fried green tomatoes. And they've been a staple in my family since I can remember. Thanks to my beautiful grandmother that is now in heaven chilling with Jesus. So, but this is it. Easy peasy. And I just want to leave you with a scripture. I love to cook. It's a part of my soul, my spirit, my being. And I just want to leave you with a scripture. Proverbs 31, verses 14 through 15. She is like the ships of the merchant. She brings her food from afar. She rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and portions for her maidens. And even, let's see here, Proverbs 31 through 27. She carefully watches everything in her household and suffers nothing from laziness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. And so I just want to leave you with those two scripture verses that really speak to me, and it's the essence of my grandmother. She rose early. She got up like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning every day to take care of her family. And she was a great businesswoman, and she was a great cook. And I love that woman with all of my being. And this is one of the things I wanted to share with my friends and family that she shared with me. And to that, I want to say, have a blessed day, have a blessed night, and be blessed.